Good morning and welcome, my friends. I know there was a little bit of a confusion. I had jumped on about an hour ago. I do apologize for that. I wasn't quite ready for doing my live like I am now. I always, anytime I do my readings, an hour before I go live for the general public, I do my Patreon readings. I just clicked the wrong live section. So, welcome to my Friday. I hope things have gone well for you guys since I've seen you guys on Wednesday. I know that there's been lots going on. Um, Things have kind of settled down with the back to school, yet has sort of been replaced with the weekend and the upcoming 9/11 memorial, remembering, and celebration. So we're kind of ending off on a note of, I don't want to say sadness, but a note of remembering where we've been and almost a frustration as to where we are now. I think sums it up better. So there is that impending look at it as more and more YouTube channels and specials are coming up on 9/11. And I think it's an important day that we remember and we celebrate those who have lost. So there is still a lot of push and pull. And I'm not sure that we're going to get rid of that. In my mind, I can really remember when we started to see this influx of push and pull. And that was back in May when Gemini took its stand high in the sky. So when Gemini came in, I said, wow, Castors and Pollux is really pushing and pulling us. And I remember that in my readings. And I remember feeling that, ooh, we also had Mercury retrograde. And I'm like, well, once those settle down, we should be okay. And then we headed into the summer and things were on fire, things were flooding. We had tropical storms, we had more things on fire. It kept cycling and whirlwinding a bit. And it hasn't settled down. I'm not sure it's going to. We need to start to use some tools to start to settle it down for us so we can strengthen and empower us. And I'm going to support you with that. Okay. Tuesday, I did and I will have my meditation to releasing that gunkiness, other people's energies that aren't serving us, and including some of our energies that we don't need. So that will come out on Tuesday for sure. Okay. And that will start to help with starting to be able to own our own stuff and start to connect into our authentic self a bit. Now, as you guys may noticed, last night I tried to slice this finger off. Apparently didn't want that one, or at least I didn't want it as tall. I'm going to do the best I can in shuffling. It semi-worked in my first reading. We'll see how it goes. So, yeah, mental note, don't try and cut your fingers. It hurts and it's hard. So I've been grounding myself. I've been very present for myself. But my words have escaped me a little bit. And yeah, it's been an interesting go. So we'll just kind of hobble along through this and see how we do. The decks I chose, I went with my favorite just to make me happy today. So I have the Everyday Everyday Witches Tarot and Oracle decks. I have linked them below, like always. I absolutely love the artwork. Jessica Alba, who has drawn these decks, is fantastic. She's amazing. And the creator is just as phenomenal as well. The imagery and the connection is amazing. So let's get into this week. And it's hard to believe, but we're looking at the week of July 12th through the 18th. Yeah. Like I said, I think, Okay, thank you. I've asked them and begged them not to put them under the table for me because my dexterity just isn't there. I said, I think last week in my weekly reading, that once September hits, September, October, November just kind of cascade, and we're already into December. So I'm like, where's 2020 go or 2021 going? Interesting. Seasonal harvest. And what? This following week, like not this week we're looking at, the next week, we have we're right into that fall equinox. So that harvest is physically there. More importantly, emotionally and spiritually, it is here for you this week. It's going to be fantastic. Rebirth and reinvention. So phenomenal. This week, of course, we're looking at that dreaded word change. I'm a big proponent of making sure that change isn't a leap and bound or a leap of faith type change where there's no stability. We do need to work at it. We want that earthy stability. We want to feel comfortable in the shifts that we do, in the shifts that create the change we want. So, taking it one step at a time and acknowledging and celebrating these new differences with each rising sun. Each day we're able to shift a bit more and be more authentic. Like I said in the introduction here, I said that that meditation is going to come out and you're going to be able to start to own that authentic you. And that's going to continue throughout this week. And so if you're new here, I want to say thank you for joining me and welcome. And the meditations that I'm talking about, this releasing meditation that I mentioned that's coming out on Tuesday, I have 4 playlists. 3 of them are meditative playlists and another one is a mindfulness playlist that dabbles a bit in meditation but gives you more tools as well. All these playlists are guided. They're on the meditative scale, if you will, and they're for you to use and revisit as you need. They are free with no strings attached. Okay? So on Tuesday in the morning, I'm going to be releasing that, releasing meditation. This week, that release, that rejuvenation is going to be really important. Thankfully, we also have this week, we're going to be able to start to embrace the full harvest moon on Saturday. So that's going to help with us really connecting in and nurturing some of these new aspects that we're trying to bring forward. I will be doing a live session on Thursday for the full harvest moon. And then Friday, again, I'll be back here in the morning with my cup of tea and the cards. I'm really enjoying this morning session where I can get in and give you time to see what next week's going to look like or what the full moon's going to look like and give you time to kind of sit with it for a bit. I'm very much a contemplator and I like that extra time. So I like to give it to people when I can. All right. I don't know about you guys, but I am really already enjoying the fall kind of spicy pumpkin style teas. I think on my angel reading and on my last week reading, I did some sort of pumpkin spice. This one is a chocolate spice. It's really good. In the summer, I kind of get away from the spice. I don't know why. And in the fall and winter and spring, I really enjoy it. All right, let's get into this week. What does the beginning of the week bring, my friends? All right. Nice. The Three of Wands. Like, get up and go. We're starting to see some movement forward. And it's going to be important. Let's shift my table here. Don't tip over. Okay. That'd be bad. We're going to start to see some movement even in the beginning of the week, starting Sunday. We want to make sure that on Sunday that we're not carrying the heaviness and the sorrow forward, that we're carrying this new beginning, these new exciting aspects and pieces, and inspiring ourselves. We want to always remember the individuals who fought in the wars. We want to remember the 9/11 victims and those frontline staff, those heroes that saved. But we also need to keep moving forward, using them as inspiration rather than stagnation. None of them would have wanted people to dwell or get stuck. They want us to keep going forward. That slow, steady space, enjoying our time as much as we can. So, keeping that in mind as we start off our week, the Three of Wands, the background to that card is that in the Two of Wands, we made some decisions. We made some decisions on how to go forward, how to bring in that fulfillment and connect into our passion and our joy. The Three talks about taking those steps forward. That's what we're really going to see. I see literally, and this has come up a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, is that a dog coming out of water, we have water here, shaking off and bounding forward. Do we need to bound? No. We want to shake it off, start moving forward. That's very true here. Let's get into the middle of the week. What can my friends expect from the middle of the week? Is good. The Ace of Pentacles. I like how we have this resurgence of that morning sun. We have that grounded energy at the pentacle. And we have those emerging aspects that we're looking at, starting to harvest, starting to nurture, starting to acknowledge, starting to work with them. And those emerging aspects are parts and pieces that we had always intended to have. They've been buried deep within us. And the more we become that authentic person, when I say that we're standing in our light, really shining brightly for others, we can start to peel off that fluffy puffiness that our ego put into place. It started as older kids, and it continued through adolescence and into our young adulthood. We needed that. We wouldn't have survived to this point without it, because we are dealing with the impact of others. It's important now that we start to remove that padding slowly, become more understanding of those pieces that we have brought with us, that authentic self, and moving ourselves forward in a way that's going to be meaningful for us. During the middle of the week, don't be surprised if different things don't start to click and start to emerge for you in other elements of your life as well. Because as we start to embrace that inner fire, that inner flame of the sacral and solar plexus chakras, our vibration rises. And that's when things start to make sense, and we start to connect the dots. And the universe likes to reward us with things working. So we start to click together better. As we start to really nurture us, work with our skills, work with our abilities, value and love us, more is going to come to fruition and with greater ease. Especially when we tap into the King of Wands. I love this king. I love so many of the cards. They all have very different meanings to me and very sentimental experiences with them. We're adding to that wand power, that inner flame, that creativity and passion. Yes, we're going to see things start to come into place. The more connection and fulfillment we have in what it is we're trying to achieve, the more mastery we have with it, the more successful we're going to be. So, point and take. You start off your day in a high vibrational, excited energy, and you go to work. Sure, there might be rush hour. Sure, there may be challenges in transit, whatever. There may be technology challenges. You stay in that high vibration of, you know what? I am smarter than my computer. I can overcome traffic. And what's more, planning for it. So if you know you've got a commute ahead of you, making sure that you have your to-go cup with some yumminess. You have a book that you've always wanted to read on audio. Anytime I have to travel, I make sure that not only do I have it, it's downloaded and it's going, so that the travel and commute in that time is meaningful. And that meaningfulness, that fulfillment, just adds to the joy. It adds to that excitement, which really nurtures you and those around you. Because remember, guys, people reflect the energies and how we're treating ourselves. So if we're enjoying and treating ourselves well, guess what? So will others. Have you ever noticed that when you're having a bad day, people treat you horribly? They're like, oh, no, I don't want to be by that person. When you're having a good day, things start to fall into place. Things click better. Not to mention, you feel amazing. You don't feel so bogged down by the heaviness, by everything that's going on around you, because you're owning what you can. You, your abilities, and I really encourage people to own their breath. That's why meditation is pretty big for me. And I encourage guided meditation because I'm the type of person that can't just sit in a room and breathe. Because my mind and my creativity flourish. And I connect in and I'm just like, everything's going on. I'm like, I did not feel grounded or centered. I actually feel more frazzled because I didn't have a point or focal that I could keep my mind on as everything else was going on around me. All right, let's head off to the end of the week. What can my friends expect from the end of the week? So, we're now going into the King of Swords. That knowledge, that perseverance forward. These two brothers are going to take us far. Why? Because we're using our head, our critical thinking skills, we're analyzing and we're trying to solve puzzles and we're getting stuff done. We're connecting into our passions and our creativity, that solar plexus and sacral energy, combining it with that third eye and crown chakra, and you are on fire. Things are getting done. Kings, they're the master of their suit. They have the most control and the most power. As we start to really own who it is we are, we start to become masters of ourselves, our abilities, and what we can do and achieve in a day. Remember, we've got double kings here. Kings are the 14th card in the minor arcana. When you have that multiple 14, the angels are telling you to use your abilities to stay in that high vibration and get the job done. Because what you put out is what you're going to get back in. Very, very true in this week. Embracing these amazing ideas and opportunities of, well, improving self, nurturing self will support you in strengthening and healing you, helping you move forward, stay in the high vibration, attract opportunities, manifest what you need. Those all sound really fantastic and fantabulous, but how do you do it? Pretty much believing in yourself and your abilities. It's one of the things that we're going to learn this week is really connecting into those abilities and how we can harvest them and use them for our better and greatest, highest good. Unlike a garden where once you harvest it, a lot of things take time to replenish. Well, that passion, that vigor, our abilities, they only flourish more when we start to harvest and use them. They are very much a renewable resource that we can continue to use and to support our growth and development for our greater good, while inspiring others to continue forward. Because through that modeling and our behaviors, our body language, our energies, people will be drawn to us, and we can encourage and nurture them and also learn from them. It's always a two-way street. So let's look at the challenges, because it's never as easy as I just said. If it was, we would have been able to have such growth and development over the last couple of years with nothing holding us back. There's always that challenge, right? What challenge will my friends face at the beginning of the week? Besides my lack of ability to shuffle well. The Nine of Cups. It's going to be hard to get ourselves getting up and going when we're questioning what it is we have. We're feeling really discouraged and overwhelmed. We're not taking stock of all those amazing, abundant areas of our lives. We're not taking stock of our abilities or our skills. So it's going to be harder to acknowledge those newer ones. Really hard to nurture any of it because we're not being present for us. So taking that time and being present, reflecting in what is going well and how can you make it better? How can you make it grow? What would support it in flourishing? When we start to look at how we can make things better for ourselves, how we can make what's going right even better, stronger, more predominant in our lives, that's when we're going to see that energetic shift. We're going to have, of course, that abundance and that prosperity that we're looking for. We're going to have that ability to manifest what it is we really want. All right. So, reflecting in and knowing what's going right, what's going well. We always know what's not going well. Let's look at the flip side to that. What about the middle of the week? What challenges will my friends face for the middle of the week? All right. Seven of Wands. It really captures that energy that I talked about. When we're feeling defeated, when we're feeling that we don't trust our abilities, we start to really negatively self-talk, and we're beating ourselves up. We have that very aggressive, very challenging energy come back at us. So being mindful of how we're treating ourselves, what that inner chatter is saying to you. So when it starts to get negative, when it starts to get challenging, that's when we start to use our tools and our abilities to shift it. Shift back to that positive and shift out of that kind of conflictual energy. I do have an easy, quick tip for people who may be new and haven't heard this tip. I've mentioned it a number of times during my readings. Anytime we have that very aggressive kind of conflictual energy within, one of the ways that we can dump it really, really fast is through washing our hands. We don't need to add soap. We don't need to add anything. It's just that running water on our hands. Our hands are a point of give. We can expel from our hands. So having that water just run over our hands will help calm that energy, calm that mind. If you have a few more minutes, I do have a meditation that I brought out last week where you're releasing that anxious, prickly energy. I think it's like 7 minutes worth of a meditation, and that's in my short and sweet meditative playlist. Like I said, I've got lots of tools to support you in moving forward. Because it's common. It sucks. It's common. The Knight of Pentacles. Come on, camera. There he is. Him and his kitty. So, Knights are that adolescent no fear energy. And in the different suits, they're in varying stages of motion. Pamela Coleman Smith drew them that way. The Knight of Pentacles is steadfast, whereas the Knight of Swords is charging headlong into a storm. The other two are in varying stages. It's going to be that inability to focus in on what we want to focus in on, right? Think of it as that point of squirrel moment that we get. Where we're like, I need to do this. Oh, we all do it, right? We're all like, oh, I need to do this, but look at that. That's so much more fun. We're going to be misdirected and misguided quite easily. So grounding ourselves, keeping ourselves focused on that point will help. So any meditation that I do, I always have a grounding element to it. So if it's a grounding meditation, I don't end off on a grounding point. But if it's another meditation, I do. Make sure you guys are grounded at the end of it. Another way you can help support in maintaining grounded energy, this is my go-to crystal, and this is called Tiger Iron. It's a little piece. We don't really need big pieces to carry with us. It's easily tucked into a pocket. If you're a lady, you can. This one's a little bit harder because it's not flat. I think I've given out all my other pieces. Can't see it. But flat, small pieces are very helpful in, like this one, this is an amethyst. Again, would help with some clarity. It's a bit big, but it's flatter, right? And it's the ability to put it in a pocket close to your body, to tuck it into your bra. If you're able to, jewelry, bracelets are common, or pendants. If it's close to your skin, that's good. You can really absorb that energy, and the crystal can help maintain things. It's really hard for a crystal to put you into a point of groundedness. I find it's easier to do grounding meditation or some breathing, visualization to be in the point of groundedness, and then have the crystal amplify it and help you maintain it through your day. If you have more questions on crystals, at the beginning of September, so last week, I brought out Crystal 101 to help with that, kind of getting a fundamental of crystals. So we're going to have that conflict and that squirrely moment. We need to be mindful of where our energy is and where it is we're putting our time in. Remember, we have those double kings. So where we put our energy and what we project, it's going to come back at us. All right, let's head off to the end of the week. What challenges? Okay, please don't throw the cards on my friend's face at the end of the week. I'm hoping by the end of the week, when I'm back live, I'm going to have more dexterity. Mental note, do not try and chop off your finger. It's really a bad thing. It hurts. The Ace of Cups, the Holy Grail. going to struggle to connect in to what's going to bring us the most joy, what we need the most. Because, well, this squirrely, anxious energy is still going to be with us. And we're not going to have that fundamental of, this is what's really important. Because we are going to be misdirected. Our energies are going to be all over the place. The more grounded we are, the more present we are, the more we're going to be able to take hold of the Holy Grail. And by doing that, taking hold of that knowledge and that passion, that creativity to support us in our forward movement. And we do have double aces, snake eyes. When the angels are talking to you and you see that multiple one, angels are telling you to use your abilities for your greater and most positive good. Trust in you. They're important. You're important. The Three of Cups. Seeing that importance, seeing that need and connection in to how this positive, this fun, this joy is going to bring meaningful results. We all know that when we feel better, those results are there. However, your ego is going to be questioning that, adding uncertainty to what it is you're trying to do. Additionally, another note, don't be surprised if friends and family don't come in and try and direct you into something else. Commonly, our friends and our family, they'll get into interpersonal relationship issues. They'll have lots of push and pull within that little system. Be mindful of what you're being caught up in and whether or not you need to be a part of it. Because sometimes we like to be a part of the group, even when we don't need to be. Especially if it's easier. If it's easier, we don't have to challenge ourselves. We're not looking at that growth. Our ego's like, ooh, that's important. Yet, it may not be. You may want to be there for your friends and family, but you may not need to be in the heart of the battle or the challenge or the whatever they're looking at. Now, another multiple of the threes. When you see that multiple three, the angels are telling you that something close to your heart needs to be expressed, which I think is a fantastic multiple to end off on because that's very, very true. There's stuff that we're holding on to that needs to be expressed, and we need to figure out how to express it in a meaningful way because it's us. All right, we're going to end off on any further information and support that we can guide and give my friends for embracing this week, getting the most out of it. I don't know if you guys can hear my dog. It's Smokey here again. I don't mean to laugh at him, but it's hilarious. He doesn't have much of a nose, so he snores. So if it's catching up on camera, if you're hearing a rumble, it's my dog. I love it. Listening to wisdom. Those aha moments, especially with the King of Swords, are going to be there. And we may not know where it's coming from. It may not be from our physical support team. More rather, it's going to be from our high vibrational support team. The archangels, the high vibrational beings, the ascended masters, those who are helping us out the most. Taking that time, being present and listening. Because sometimes that little message, that repetition, it's what we're ignoring and resisting the most because it's going to bring us the most growth. Just in case you didn't get it, if we missed that somehow, transformation and change. This week offers you that ability for this transformation. The more present and mindful you are for you, the more you start to nurture you, care for you, making sure that your energies are not as conflicting and negative towards self, and that you're really putting that intention into your week, the more you're going to see this happen. And it's not going to be an overt thing for many. It's going to be one of those very subtle and soft things. People will come up to you and go, did you lose weight? Did you do my hair? I can't figure it out. What did you change? That energetical shift literally will make you glow. I love it. Speaking of glowing, fire magic. So it doesn't matter if you class yourself as pagan, Wiccan, what have you. That inner flame, that inner fire is so important this week. Not only does it connect us to this creativity and passion, but it's part of our willpower and our drive. So that sacral and solar plexus energy is really important. Acknowledging that, knowing that we are the ones that are driving us, we need to fuel that fire, fuel that passion. We know exactly how. It's just making sure we give ourselves that time and energy. Now, this week offers you, shockingly enough, this shift that you're looking for. Make sure that you take the time for you and enjoy this week. Like I said, Tuesday I will have that meditation for releasing other people's energies. And there is a component of fueling this fire within. I've added a number of different layers to this meditation so you can really get the most out of a short time. I'm big on being effective. Then Thursday, like I said, I'm going to be doing my live reading for the full harvest moon, which we can start to embrace the energies of the full harvest moon on Saturday. However, given my world, I know the reading is better and more effective on Thursday than Saturday, as I have my kiddos home and it gets crazy here. Then, of course, Friday, I'm live again doing the weekly reading for the following week. And we're starting to get into some really fun energies because at the end of the month, we have a lot of different elements in play. We have the full harvest moon coming in. One of my favorite days, which happens to be on the same day, it's the 21st, is Hobbit Day. Yeah, I'm a nerd, I know. But that energy and perseverance is there. Oh, and speaking of perseverance, September itself is the awareness month for childhood cancer, which many of us don't think about. It's here. And we have some amazing heroes that are in small little bodies fighting for a battle that many adults can't do. So we do also have that energy, and it's a fantastic energy to be very intentional with. And of course, it's also National Service Dog Month. So the service dogs, again, heroes in fluffy form. Lots in September that we can really embrace and enjoy. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. And if this video, you liked it, give a thumbs up, you know the drill, subscribe, that kind of thing. I do post, as you can tell, on random occasions for random things. And I do have lots of stuff that I try and bring out in my sessions and in my channel throughout the week. So the best way to stay connected, of course, is subscribing and hitting that bell so you know when I am live, because a lot of what I do is live, so I can actually answer your questions as I go forward. So, thank you so much for joining me today, and enjoy your following week. Until tomorrow, my friends.